To be here with you. If you're on the World Wide Web, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here with us. We'll have a few more things to say about that right before we start. But if you will, everybody in house, if you'll stand, remove your hats. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we're indeed thankful for this day and all the many blessings. Lord, we're thankful for the opportunity you have to come here and fellowship and have a good time and a good weekend and a good sale. Lord, we pray that you'll be with all of us as we travel to and from. Lord, we pray that you give us all safe travels back to whatever parts of the country we come from. Lord, we're thankful for the hardest working men and women in the world. That's the American farmers. Lord, we pray that you'll continue to bless the farmers and the Boer goats and all the things and that the animals that we decide to breed. Lord, pray that you'll continue to bless us with a country. Lord, pray that you'll be with our military men and women, police, EMS, fire, all the caretakers, doctors, nurses in this world. Lord, pray that you keep us all safe. Forgive us our sins. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. If you'll look behind me, there's a nice large flag. Miss Michaela Richardson Burns will sing the national anthem for us now.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Michaela. Let me go ahead and introduce my team. Right here to my left, I have my wife, the brains of the computers and all the paperwork and all the good stuff, Miss Beth Williams. In the office, you're checking in, going to be taking your money out there, our good friend and co-owner of Red River Auction Group in Clarksville, Tennessee, Miss Telly Langford. Over here to my right there, no, I guess not, Keith. Over here behind me, be taking your bids out here. He's the pride of Lewisburg, Tennessee. He's a full-time ringman auctioneer. He's also an instructor, Nashville Auction School. My good friend, my road warrior, Mr. Keith Scrimshire. Also catching your bids tonight, the pride of Kentucky, Mr. Roger Glass will be out there with you. Jason Brashear will be rounding up what we miss out there. And I think that's got our crew. To my right, it's an honor. It's the first time I've had the opportunity, but it's an honor and a man that probably needs no introduction in this world. Mr. Ron Dilly, proud to be here with you, buddy.
It's good to be here. It's awesome to be here, and I want to introduce an outstanding set of consigners that have brought the offering here for the first ever Heat Seekers buck sale, and it's an exciting set we have back there. 2M Boer Goats, Paul and Kim Morgan from Charlestown, Indiana. H&C Boer Goat Farm, Brooke and Brian Hardy from Taylorsville, North Carolina. Lynn Point Farm, Stephanie Benningfield from Magnolia, Kentucky. North Sand Mountain Boer Goats, Brian Sharp from Trenton, Georgia. Old Mill Creek Boer Ranch, Bob and Christina Filipovic. I could probably do that better. Filipovic. Lyles, Tennessee. Painted Creek Farm, Nate and Casey Wooten, Cherryville, North Carolina. Redden Brothers, Tom and Jackie Redden from Norman, Indiana. Richardson Boer Goats. Chris, Joyce, and Michaela Richardson from Cox's Creek, Kentucky. Rosenmeyer Boer Goats, Matt and Missy Rosemeyer and family from Brookville, Indiana. Rowdy Mountain Boer Goats, Jerry, Stacy, and Jason Fugate, and John Stacy from Rowdy, Kentucky. Russell and Sons Farm, Zeb James, Charlotte, Tennessee. Shoals Boer Goats, Mike Rhodes and Kristen Rhodes, Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And last but not least, Workman Farms, Dustin and Renee Workman from Heltonville, Indiana. What an awesome set of consigners and a great set of goats in the back. Going to be fun tonight.
Oh, let's have a good...
I couldn't be more excited to welcome the first lot into the ring. This is Dual Threat, consigned by Redden Brothers, lot number 1. Always a tough one to sell, but I think this buck speaks for himself. As we study this one, sired by the Greater Vision buck, which goes back to Smoking Hot Big Shot and Smoking Hot Ruger. On the bottom side, Miss Priss, which goes back to 2M Boer Goats All In, and Able Acres NBD Square 1 ennobled there on the top side. Folks, as you study this one, he's show correct in every way. He's big, he's powerful, he tracks good off both ends. Let's sell him. He's one awesome herd sire.
Here we go. Hit right. Diamond to David and diamond and money. Get dollar. Diamond to David and money. Get. Here we go. Who get $10,000 here? I got it at 10 grand. I got it at 10 grand. Get a bit 10 grand. Get a bit. Who give $1,000? Let's all go. How many $1,000 bill? I got it at 1,000. Get 15. How many to David and money? Get 15. Pound 15. How many did have? Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, I don't know how well you can see online, but as you study this buck and look at him from behind, look how deep he is in the twist. Look how huge he is in that inner thigh. Look how wide he tracks from hock to hock as he goes away. If you get around in front of him, you see that same width and power through that chest and through that center rib and through the center part of that body. One beast as you study him.
15, 16, I got it. It's David and money. Get dollar. Get one more time, Mr. Ron.
Folks, let's don't stall out here. Jackie and Tom have been using him all summer. Just look at his head. Big old breedy, powerful, broad muzzle and broad skull plate in this guy. Good horn set, heavy fronted and huge topped and huge rear leg. A really good one.
16, 17, I got it at 17. Hey, but it 17. 3, 3, 3, 3. No 4. Hey, but it 4. Hey, but it 4, 4, 4, 5. I got it at 25. I got it at 25. I got it at 20. Get 5, get it at 25, get it at 25, get it at 25, get it at 20. Amy, will you give him a good walk there, please, ma'am? I got it at 4, 5, I got it at 4, 5. He got it at 5, he got it at 5, 5, 5, get 5, 6. I'm at $600 then. I'm at 5, 6. I got it at 6, 6, 6. He got it at 600. I'm at 6. He got it at 6, 6, 6. I'm at 25, get $600 then. Sir, your wife has walked off. That is a green light if I've ever seen one. 25, 2600. I got it at 26. Come on now. 25, 2600. I got it at 26. I got it at 20. Get 6, 6, 6. I'm gonna at 9, 6, 6, 6. I'm gonna David at money. Get daughter. Get 25, 26, 26, 7. I got it at 700. I got it at 700. Even if it's 7, 7, 7. Get 7. Now 8. I got it at 800. I got it at 8, 8, 8. Don't get mad. Get even. 28. I got it at 7. Give 8. I got it at 28. I got it at 20. Get 8, 8, 8. Get $2,800 then. All right, bid goes on. Amy, turn him out there.
Let's go ahead and bring his lot number 2. It's 2M Boer Goats War Chant. As we study the pedigree, he's out of War Party, which goes back to Man of War and Triple D, Reserve National Champion. On the bottom side, 2M Boer Goats Alicia, which goes back to Got You Thinking, and Able Acres Got You Covered. Outstanding pedigree, and wow, look at the squareness and width and power in this one. Enough said. Let's go.
Here we go. How many David and money? Get dollar. What to do here? How many did 5 grand? How many did $5,000 here? I got it at 5, 5, 5. Get 5. He'll give $1,000. Let's all go. How many did $1,000 here? I got it at 5,000. 5,000. Search me. 10, 5, 10. I got it at 5,000. $10,000 here. How about it at 5, 10? How about it at 5,000? 6,000 in. How about it at 5, 6? I got it at 5, 6. I got it at 5, 6. 7. How about it at 700? I got to be 7 grand. 6,000. 7,000. I got it at $7,000. 7. Now 8. I got it at 8,000. I got it at 8. How about it at 8, 8, 8? How about it at David and money? Get dollar. Get 7,000. 8,000. How about it at $8,000 here? I got to burn a truck up. I'll find another one of these. 7,000. 8,000. I got it at 8 grand. I got it at 8 grand. How about it at 8, 9? I got it at 8,000. Get $9,000 here. I got it at 9, 9, 9. Get internet. Got to be 9 grand. How about it at 8, 9? How about it in the house is 8 grand? Gonna be $9,000 here. I got it at 9 grand. I got it at 9 grand. I got it at 9, 10. I got it at 10,000, 11,000. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, as you study this buck, when Paul gets him turned right, you see how that forearm muscle pops. Well, you got that same definition all the way down his top and out his rear leg. Huge inner thigh, outer flare to him, and he stands as wide as a truck off both ends and tracks equally as wide.
10,000, 10,000, 11,000. I got it $11,000 here. Internet, it's your turn. 11 grand. I got it 11 grand. I got it 10,500. Go ahead, Ron.
We're going to look about 8 or 10 lots down the road and realize what a missed opportunity this is, because if you think this one's good, we got a whole lineup of them back there, and we're getting ready to bust a lid off this thing. Let's go.
10,500, 11 grand. I got it $11,000 here. I got it 11 grand. I got it 10,500. Get it 11,000. Now 11,500. Internet. Got to be 11,500. I got it 11. Be doing half. Last call 11,250. Where? So $11,000.
All right, bring us lot number 3. This is going to be the game changer buck. As we study him, he's a Doc Holliday son, which goes back to 2M Boer Goats, Doc Holliday, and Ace in the Hole on the very top end of that deal. Out of the Redemption Doe on the bottom side, sired by Outcast, and goes back to Copper Top. As we study this one, we just see all the width and design, and as you look at him from a profile, and then as he goes away, you realize how opened up he is with just a ton of muscle in him. Awesome in his hip. Let's sell it. Let's go.
Here we go. How about a David and money get $100? How about a David and money get $5 grand? How about a $5,000 here? I got a 20 get 5. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, as you study this one, Cooper Bounds brought you a good one. This is an honest buck as you can make one. What you see is what you get. Just raw power down his top and out his rear leg. Not an ounce of fat on him. Huge Springer rib. Big-bodied, stout-made goat. That's real. It's all there.
Have 25. Get him at 7.5 then. How about a 20? Said 20 get $100 there. All right, open the gate. Bid goes on there, and let's go to the next one.
Here, the Black Dapple buck is as correct made as you could make one. He's got 14 show points. He's really stout-headed, big bone, just a really attractive, big, stout-made Black Dapple buck.
Oh, look at the color there, too. Here we go. Who give $1,000 bucks? Let's all go. I got a $1,000 bill. I got a one. I got a $1,000 here. How about a David and money get 10? How about a $1,250? Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
We're way off on this Black Dapple. Look how big-legged and how stout-headed and how massive he is in his skeleton. And he's got huge rib and really expressive across his top. That's a lot better buck. Let's go.
1,000, 12.5. I got it at 12.5. He better than 12.50. How about it at 12.50, 15? I got it at 12.10. I got it at 2 grand. How about it at 2. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, I'm hoping they finally saw the hip and rear leg set in him. Look how wide, and he stopped. Nobody's touched back legs. He stopped naturally like that. He's got as good a hip and rear leg set in a Black Dapple as I've ever seen. Let's go.
17.50, 2 grand. I got it at 2 grand. I got it at 2. I got it at 2. Get $2,000. Mr. Ron, look right there at them 2 gentlemen right there and tell them why they're missing the boat right here.
So you don't realize how good this guy is, and he's got color to boot. But this guy plays in any arena if he's traditional. I mean, you love the bone in the front legs. You love his width of skeleton. There's a lot of good in this buck, and you're missing him today.
He's not mud fat. He's not been on a big show feed. 14 show points, 2 grand. 21. I got it at 21. 2. How about it at 2. Get 22. How about it at David and money? I got it at 22. I got it at open the gate. Brian bid goes on.
Bring us lot number 6. This is 2M Boer Goats Trouble Train. It goes back to 2M Boer Goats Trouble. Everybody knows that buck and knows what he's generated. This son of him is no exemption to that rule. Out of the ADVBG Making Perfect Harmony Doe, which is sired by the unanimous decision buck. Folks, look in the ring. Look at one that's just as stout made, a red buck as you could make one. Really wide as a truck off both ends, big-headed, lots of mass to this one.
And down here, how about a David at $7,000 then? How about a $6,000, Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, this guy, he's a February born. He's the right size for his age. He's big in his skeleton. He's got more growth to him, and he's as blown out and massive and powerful in his skeleton as you could make one.
6 grand. Let's try 65, Miss Cindy. 6,500. I got it at 65. I'm going to date to get 5. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
So I just want to say this. Paul and Kim have been saving back some of their better bucks for this sale. They want to see this sale work. Paul told me today that his plans are to grow on this thing and make it even bigger and better for next year. He didn't do that by bringing his calls. He brought his very best, and you guys are overlooking one that's going to get better with time. Really powerful buck. I even see a little dapple spot on his hip there. He could throw you a dapple. That'd be pretty cool.
He's a good personality buck too there in the pen there. He can take 82.50, 82.5, 8 grand, 82.5. I got it at 92.5. I got it at 2.5. I got it at 2.5.
Paul's telling me that this buck is stouter made and more expressive than Trouble was at this age. It's amazing to see him. He's just as thick and powerful as you could possibly make one at this age.
$9 grand, $2.5, how about it? $92 money, get dollar, get last call, 95 internet, how about it? David money, get $500 where? So $92.50.
Get your beam on, which is brought to us by Rosenmeyer Boer goats. As we study these, this is a Jim Beam son, and out of 2M Boer goats, Gemma on the bottom side, which is sired by Got You Looking, and Got You Thinking there on the very top end of that deal. Absolute on the bottom, a powerhouse pedigree on a very nice buck. It's just a stout boned and huge frame. You got to realize that he's already thick and powerful, but this dude's still growing up. And when he catches that frame growth and slows down, he's going to bulk out and really get big and massive. He's show correct in every way. Let's sell it. Let's go.
Here we go. Hamilton, David, and money, get dollar, get hook, give $5 then. Hamilton, $5 grand. I got it, $5, get hook, give a $2 grand, 25. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, just look at him. I mean, he's a Jim son, and everybody knows how huge Jim is. I mean, I know at one time he was weighing 400 plus pounds, closer to 450. Huge skeleton buck here, and he's as correct in his skeletal correctness as you could be. Just as wide fronted and wide behind. You can see it, I'm sure, on the cameras there on DV Auction. I got some expression in that muscle. He's just as green as a gourd. Let's look at him for what he is.
$2 grand, 21, $120, get $100, David, and money, get dollar, get go ahead one more time.
How many of you have ever bought a goat and went home and got to looking and was disappointed? I promise you, this dude is going to get better every day you own him. He won't disappoint you.
22, 2300, I got it at 23, how about it at 2, and then 333, how about it at David and money, get dollar, get 23, last call, 23, last call, I got it at $2,700, how about it at David and money, get dollar, get, all right, open the gate, the bid goes on there.
Lot number 8 coming in. This is the Outcast Blurred Buck, brought to you by Cooper Bounds. As we study this one, he's sired by the Outcast son, which goes back to Copper Top on the top side. As we look at the bottom side, out of Newton Farms Painted Picture, which is sired by Blurred Vision, Gray Goose there in that pedigree, and out of a Polar Express daughter on the very bottom. Folks, look in here, got color, got design, got levelness, big hip, really powerful buck here. Let's go.
He'll give $1,000. Let's all go. I got it $1,000 here. I got it $1. I got it $1,000. I'm going to David and money, get dollar, get $500 then. I got it $500, get $750. I got it $1,000, 15. I got it $15. I got it David and money, get dollar, get David at 15. I got it $2. I got it $2,000 then. I got it 15 too. I got it $1,600. Let's go, Grant. Get it $2. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, in my notes, he's as good footed, he's as good off his feet and legs as you could make one. Mark Frazier, Cooper Bounds, brought you one that's just as honest as he could be. What you see is what you get. There's no fluff to this guy. What you see is what's there. Lots of muscle, lots of power. Don't overlook it.
19, $2 grand. I got it at 2. I got it at $2,000 then. I got it at $2 grand. I got it at 19, 2. I got it at 19, get 2. I got it at last call, get it at $2 grand, get it at $2 grand. Open the gate, bid goes on.
All right, lot number 9 comes in next, the General. As we study his pedigree, he's out of the Boston School Manners Insanely Hot, which goes back to Insane, and got you covered on the top side. The Addy Doe on the bottom side, which goes back to Title Rave, and as good as it gets. Folks, look in here at one powerful dude. As we study him, lots of length, lots of extension, depth of forerib, spring of rib, center body, extension through that front end, and then a big old square massive top, and a good hip and rear leg in him.
Here we go. Who'll give $1,000 bill? How about it at bond? How about it at $10 here? How about it at bond? How about it at $500? $1,600 then. How about it? Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, I've got notes here that 2 daughters sell tomorrow in lot number 58 and 81. This guy, if you study him from behind, he's as good hipped and good legged and wide from hawk to hawk as you could ask for. A guy that leads well and well mannered. You worry about how they're going to act at home. This one's going to do okay. He's not going to tear up the world.
12.5, 13, Miss Cindy. Let's get 1,300. I got it at 13. I got it at 13. Get up at 13. Get up at 13. I got it at last call. Get up at 13. Get up at 13. How about it, David? Open the door. Gate goes on. Bid goes on.
Bring us lot number 10. 2M Boer Goats Consignment. In comes Rebel Yell, sired by a rebellious decision. And then on the bottom side, Habanero, which is out of the Trouble buck and anchors away. You can see the Trouble stamped all over this one. Mother sold for $20,000. And this is one cool dude. Let's look in.
$5 grand, 750, 7,500. I got it at 7,500. I got it at $5 grand. Who gives $6? I got it at $6,000. Then I got it at 5, 12 grand. Go ahead, Mr. Ron. Talk to that man.
Well, folks, there's a difference. I mean, look at that head and look at that extension and that length of neck up through that front end. Just as shoved back in that sternum and clean made as you can make one. And then you get the shoulders laid in right, and then you just explode that rib cage and open up that center body, and then fill it with a big old square top and a huge inner thigh on that back leg. A ton of meat in this one.
Boys, a whole lot to look at from right here. 11 pound, 12 pound, how about it? 12, 12, 12, how about it? 12 grand, how about it? 12 grand, how about it? 12 grand, how about it?
I just got to say, there's a difference. And here's one that's pretty stylish and pretty opened up and as powerful as you can make one. Let's don't let this one get biased.
11 pound, better to daughter down 12, how about it? 12, 13, how about it? 13, how about it? 13, hag, get on a hag, get up, doing a hag, get up, doing a hag, get up, doing a hag, get up, last call, get up, 12, 250, where? So, $12,000 on.
Bring us lot number 11. This is Rowdy, comes to us from Painted Creek Farm. This buck is show correct in every way, as correct in his structure as you can make one. He's sired by the RM Romo, Roger McSwain Romo sire there, which goes back to Cruiser. Everybody knows those genetics. One that's just dead level across his top. Really unique in his front end. Big old wide skull on one that, as we know, Roger McSwain's goats, we see a little different design to these. Just big chested and big boned and long and level and expressive. Let's go.
Here we go. Who give a $1,000 bill? Let's all play. I got it at $1,000 here. How about it at 1,000? How about it at 15? How about it at 2 grand? How about it at 500, 600? Go ahead.
Well, if you've been around a while, you know, and if you're new to this, you need to learn. Look at the head shape on this dude. Look at that Roman head. Look at that wide muzzle. Look at the width of skull that this guy has. Look at the good curvature and the horn set that he has. You get followed when you see all that power in that head and all that correctness by a big old powerful skeleton. This guy's young and green, and I promise you, his better days are ahead. More buck than that.
25, 26, I'm going to David at $3 grand. Are you done, Roger? I'm going to $3,000 here. Open the gate, bid goes on.
Bring us lot number 12, Richardson's Goose, sired by the African Beast Buck, which goes back to African Goose and Gray Goose on the top side. Superstar also in the top half of that pedigree. Mama is 2M Boer Goats Princess, which is sired by Mellow Yellow. And on the bottom side, we've got Harmony Hills Cash the Check and Goodwin Farms Power Red Tail. So as we look at this one, this is another one that's a little different in type and kind. This is one that caught my eye as I went through them today. A real breeding buck with a stout head, good horn set, heavy fronted, just a big old masculine buck that's made some really good kids. I got to see pictures of those today. You won't be disappointed with this one.
Here we go. How about a bid it dollar down here? How about a David at money, get dollar, get hook, give $5 grand. I got it at $5 grand. I got it at $5 grand. Get it at $5 grand. Who give 1,000? Let's hook go. How about a $1,000 here? How about a 1,000? 15. I got it at 15. How about it at 15? 15, 40, get 5, 5, 5. How about it at 45? 45, 45. How about it talk to him, Mr. Ron?
Well, I talk about mass and skeletal dimension. This dude is stout-headed and huge bone. He's got tree trunks for legs, and you got to see, Internet, as you see from behind him, how he opens up from behind. Massive width of skeleton and width of hip and width between the hocks. And the thing is, he tracks just that wide. He's that naturally wide. Let's go.
Don't stop talking. 45, $5 grand. How can I do 5 grand?
I can do it.
They like you better than they do me. 45, $5 grand. How about I do $5 then? How about I do 5 grand? How can I do 5, get $5 then? Sir, give the internet a run here. 5 grand, 55 now.
I just want to say, the picture doesn't do him justice because it makes him look shorter cannoned. And you can see on the internet, look at how long he is in his bone, how elevated he is at the point of shoulder, and how big he is in type and kind. And he's every bit that big in every dimension. You won't be disappointed.
I'm telling you, they like you better than they do me. 6 grand, now 65. How about this eating 5. Sir, we don't start them, we don't stop them. We just keep it score. 6 rounds, 65. How about this eating 5. How about this 85? How about this eating? Kayla wants you to talk. She wants to make another 1,000. Go ahead.
Well, again, I can't talk about the extra dimension. Let's talk about length. Let's talk about length. The front got his head stuck right straight up in the air. He's as long bodied as you can make one, and yet stays dead level right in behind that shoulder. A lot of good pieces in this one. He could help a lot of herds.
65 hard man's in. That's going to be 7.5. 75, 7.5. Go ahead.
Well, before we we put the brakes on, just understand the proof's already here, guys. It's already here. You don't have to wonder what he is. He's a herd sire, and he's ready to go home and go to work for you and make kids just as good and just as thick and powerful.
He handles, he's meek as a puppy dog right there. 75, 77 and a half. He's scared of her. 77 and a half. I got it at 7 and a half. 8. How about it? 8 pound David and money. Get go ahead.
All I got to say, Florida, is don't be afraid. He's as good a buck as you've ever had on your place.
8 grand. I got it at 8. How about it? 8 grand. I got it at 8 grand. How about it? David and money. Get dollar. Get $8 then. How about it? Bid it dollar down. $8 then. How about it? Get him at 70. Get him at 70. Get him at $7,800. We're so to my man, 77.50 on.
Lot number 13 coming in next. Another Bounds Show Goats Consignment. Mark Frazier, Cooper Bounds. Standard of excellence, this buck's name. And all I have written across his comments is he's show correct, and this dude is a beast. As you study him, he is just packed full. There's no fluff to this one. There's not an ounce of fat on him. Look at his rib shape. Look at his top. Look at his rear leg. Look at his inner thigh. It's all there. I'll save some more for later. Let's go.
I'll give 1,000. Let's all go. How about $10 bill? I got it bond. I got it $10. How about David and money? Get it $8,000 here. 15 now. How about it? Get 12 and a half. Go ahead, Mr. Ron. Say one of them things.
Well, he's sired by the boy toy, which goes back to Show Pony. As you study him again, I can't talk about how he's the real deal. I mean, what you see is what you get in terms of rib and center body. He's got a little attitude right now, but he's just showing off for the crowd. Let's all bid on him. Huge top, square loin edge and rack on him. Lots of expression.
1,000, 12 and a half. How about it? 12.50. I got it at 12 and a half. I got it at 12 and a half. $2 grand. How about it? 19. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Look at that neck extension. Look at that length of body. Look at that levelness of top. And folks, you got to realize that this design on a buck, it's going to help you in both arenas. You're going to tighten hides, and you're going to harden muscle on the ones that need it, and you're going to make some really nice meat goat kids, or you're going to freshen up your Boer goat herd with this kind of sire.
19, $2 grand. I got it at 222. How about it? 222. How about it? $2,000. We're so Roger 2,000 on.
All right, folks, we got lot number 14 coming in. This is Newton Farms Fedora. As we study this buck, he's sired by the Abel Akers Top Hat buck, which goes back to beyond the status quo, and Abel Akers status quo, the old man on the top side. Got some absolute on the top half of that pedigree and Chanel. On the bottom side, out of the 2M Boer Goats, Lucille, which goes back to Jim Bean, and old Jim Bean daughter there on the bottom side. Got Johnny Walker Red for a little splash of color, which created Caliente, one of their top bows. And folks, look in I'm not going to talk much on him now, but this is one of my favorites for the day. Let's look in here. Don't miss him.
Here we go. Who give $5,000? Let's have fun.
We got one more announcement. The seller retains semen rights of 20 straws per year for his use only, not for sale. But Paul wants 20 straws a year on this buck to keep for himself. That's part of the deal.
That tells you right there what he thinks of him there.
That's absolutely
Let's
right.
have fun. 5,000. I got it at 555. I got it at $5,000 here. How about it at $5 grand? How about it at 5? How about it at 75 now? How about it at 70 and 5? He about it at 70 and 5. Now 10 grand. How about it at 10, 10, 10? How about it at 10 grand? How about it at 10? I'll take it. 20 grand. 2 and a half. That's easy work. 20, 2 and a half. How about it at 2 and a half? How about it at 2 and a half? Get 2 and a half. Get up at 2 and a half. Get up at 2 and a half. 20, 2 and a half. Now 25. Now 30. How about it at $30,000 here? How about it at 25, 30? I got it at $30,000 here. How about it at 25? Get up at 30 grand. Get up at 30 grand. Get 500. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, I kind of saved back because, folks, this is a show corrected guy as I've seen in the barn, and if you study him, you realize how big he is and type and kind, you know, and how exploded he is in his rib cage and his center body, just really wide through his skeleton. You love his breedy head. You like that extra extension. He is freaky fronted. You like that extra length, and yet he stays masculine in that front end and tucked back in that sternum. And this dude steps as true and wide and correct as anything I've seen today here.
I got 29,000, 31. I got it on the phone, 31 now, 33,000. I got it at 30, get up to 500, 37, 500. 38. 38, 40. I got it at 40 grand. I got it at 40 grand. I got it at 40,000. 42, now 44,000. I got it at 44. How about it at 2-4? How about it at 2-4? This is the slowest game of chess I've ever played, but I love it. 42, 44. How about it at 44? How about it at 44? Get a bit. Go ahead, Mr. Ron. We sure ain't no hurry.
I just want to say that I've got a pretty good feeling who's on the end of those bids. This is the best buck I've seen for sale in a long time. Bid with confidence. 43. Jay, you got to be 44. I got it at 44. How about it at 47? How about it at $47,000 46. 47. Miss Cindy's holding her ears. I'm going to whisper for a minute. 46. 47,000. 47. $50,000 hair. How big a boy you now are you, Jay Boy? How about it at 550? There now 51. How about it at 50? Get one. How about it at 51? Or we'll jump the bid. Suits me. 50 grand. 51. How about it at 50? Get one. Go ahead. I just want to say this. This is a straight up auction. There ain't no monkey business going on here. This is real money, folks. You don't have to worry about it. Ain't no bull crap here with me. I can tell you. 51. 52. 52. I got it at 52. I got it at 52. I got it at 50. Get 2. I've never sold a goat that didn't have a real backup bidder. I can promise you that. 51. 52. I got it at 52. I got it at 1, 2. I got it at 1. Get 2. Lord Roger about to stroke out. 51. 52. I got it at 52. I got it at 52. I got it at 52. Get it at 52. Now 3. How about it at 3? 3. How about it at 53? I got it at 53. Oh, hey, we ain't in no hurry. 55,000. How about it? How about it? 55, 60. I got it at 60 grand. How about it at $60,000 hair? How about it at 60 grand? How about it at 60,000? Get it at 60 grand. Get it at 60 grand. 55 now. 50. Whoa.
They hung up on it.
Miss Cindy, talk to her. She screwed the whole deal up. This is the one time I think we could take a short pause for the cause, okay? You think he hung up or you think we lost? I think he's pissed too. I don't blame him. 55, 56,000. I got it at 56. I got it at 55. Get a bit zig down. Get a bit zig down. Get a bit zig down. Get a bit 55. Get a bit zig down. Holler here. How about it at 55 cents? How about it last call? 56,000. Put your hands together for the man on the phone. Sold $55,000. 324, 324. All I can say is congratulations. Either way, he was going to a good home. That was fun. I got a feeling that was Texas. I sure hope Jeremy Sanders is listening because his 53 just got beat. Yeah! Bring us lot number 15. Hey, Miss Cindy, thank you so much. Jason, thank you so much. Roger, you okay?
I'm all right.
Okay. Did you see how he did that, Key? What are you doing over here? I may have to run out there and take one of my hard pills real quick. Okay. All right. Lot number 15. This is 4JJ MI Smoke, sired by the Maximum Impact buck there on the top side. Enough said there. On the bottom side, we've got a Polar Superstar daughter there on the bottom side out of Polar Express, and then on the very bottom, a Valero daughter there, Candy Stripe. Folks, look in here. My notes say his siblings have show points. He's got an excellent head and horn set to him. Another one that's just thick and powerful. This is another really good herd sire prospect. Let's go. Hit right out of the David and money. Get daughter, get who? Give $1,000. 12, get a 12, get 12, get 12. Go ahead. Well, again, I think we're all kind of in shock on that last one, but we need to look in here. Big old massive fronted dude that walks wide and square off the front end. Huge square top, and he's good legged behind and has a nice wide stance there. Let's look back in. Let's don't lose this one. Let's don't miss it. 1,100, 1,200. How about it at 12, 12, 12? How about it at 1,200? I got it at 11, 12. I got it at 11, I got it at 17. I got it. Go ahead. Well, again, I'm going to brag on his hip. Wide from hooks to pins. Carries that width all the way down through the hocks. Big hipped and big rear-legged. And you love his head and breediness about his head and the horn set. There's just a lot to like about this buck. He's really complete, really powerful. 16, 17, how about it at 17? I got it at keys. How about it at 3 grand? How about it at 3 grand? Get him at 3 grand. Get him at 3 grand. Get him at 3 grand. Go ahead, Mr. Ron. Well, we're doing it $1 bill at a time, but we're getting there. We're finally starting to realize the value of this buck. A good, solid, wide-bodied, well-made buck that's going to go home and make you proud. Let's keep going. 29, 3 grand. I got it at 3. Now 31. How about it at 30? Get bon. How about it at 30? Get bon. How about it at 31? How about it at dinner now? Get it at 31, 32, I got it at 32. It ain't how fast we get there, it's as long as we get there. 31, 32. I got it at 30, get 2. Friend, you've come a long way. How about it at 1, 2? I got it at 1, 2. I got it at 1, get 2, 2, 2. Get a bit. Go ahead and talk to me.
Hey, it's just another $100. I'll loan you 100.
Hey, it's only money. 31, 32, 100. How about it at 32? How about it at 100? How about it at 37? How about it at, are you sure? Yes or yes? 36, 37. How about it at last call? Get a bit. 3,700. So 3,600, 501.
All right, bring us lot number 16. This is the Redden Brothers Monarch buck, sired by the MM7 Corona, which goes back to more power and out of Madonna G Girl. As we study this buck, that MM7, that's Mount Madonna Farms there in California, and I'm pretty sure that Miss Sandra Egger has produced at the last 2 nationals some big winners, and got that kind of pedigree in the top half, and then on the bottom half, Painted Love, which goes back to Achilles, and my status is smoking. Power punch pedigree, top and bottom, and folks, just look in the ring at the buck. He's awesome. Let's go.
I get it down here, down, how about it, David, money, get $1,000. Let's all go. I get it $1,000 bill. I got it at 1. I got it at $1,000. Get it at 1,000. Get it at 1,000. Get it at 1,000. Get it at 500. Down. I got it at 500. He got it at 5. I got it at 7, 15, 12 and a half, 15. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, if you look at this buck sire, you see the Corona buck. His full brother, flush brother, he's a full brother to him, is the Power Broker buck that Dana Childers had. Does that mean anything to anybody? Power and mass and look and design. You see the same thing in this one. Just a powerhouse pedigree that you can depend on. Let's go.
12 and a half, 13, then I got it at 13, I got it at 13, I got it at 13, get it at 15, 16, get it at the last call, get it at 2 grand, 20, get 1. So $2,000.
All right, bring us lot number 17. It's Black Dapple time as we look at the Schultz Boer Goats consignment. Comes in Lightning's Thunderstruck, sired by the Grease Lightning, which goes back to Spotted Ladies Man. On the bottom side, we've got TGF1 Cali, which goes back to Hammer and War Horse. Got a power pack pedigree on this one. Black Dapple buck that's just as extended and freaky front as you can make one. So let's look in here and see what he's like. I really like it.
I get it at David at money, get David at money, get 500. Let's get it at 25, 25. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, we got a lot of body in this Black Dapple buck. One that's made right. You can see that it's relatively level in his top. He gets out and moves, and he just really catches your eye. Lots of look to him, and he's really correct.
22 and a half, 23, hey, but 3, 4. How about it at 20, get 4? Get it last call, get up at 700. I get it at 700, get up at 700, get up at 700. Bid goes on, swing the gate, next one in.
Lot 18, 2M Boer Goats Night Rider, sired by the Midnight Train buck, which goes back to Lucky's Blaze and Quasar, and Lucky's Big Dog there on the top side. Bottom side's Newton Farms Lovebird, which goes back to Smokin' Express, and on the bottom side, an Armed Forces Dovey there on the bottom side. So, folks, another Paul Morgan consignment. Paul and Kim brought you a good set so far. Don't know that he's going to bring $55,000, but he's going to bring a pile of money. He's really stylish. Let's go.
And get it at $1 down here, down, David at money, get $1, get hook you, $5 grand. I got it at $5 grand. Hook it 5, 6. I got it at 6 grand. Go ahead.
You're going to drive a lot of miles to find a better Black Dapple buck than this one. He just exploded his skeleton, got all that width and dimension and all that look. Let's go.
55, $6,000. How about it at 6 grand? I got it at 6 grand. Get it at 6 grand. Get it at 6 grand. Keith's got the money. 55, $6,000 here. How about it at 6 grand? How about it at 6,000? 65. How about it at 60 and 5, 7 and a half. How about it at 67 and a half? I got it at 7 and a half. She said yes. 67 and a half. How about it at 7 and a half? Get it at 7 and a half. Get it at 7 and a half. Get it at 7 and a half. One more time, Mr. Ron.
Paul, I guess you should have kept a 20 straw retention on this one too, but all right, let's bring us lot number 19. We got an Otter Creek Farm consignment. This is Otter Creek Double X collaboration, which is sired by the Trouble buck. Well, I see why we look like that. And then on the bottom side, we're out of the Hoosier. Let's see, the Hoosier girl daughter or doe there on the bottom side. She's 2 and 2 teated, show correct. And as soon as you turn her around, you realize how square he is, how big hipped he is, how massive fronted he is. Really, really cool buck. Let's go.
Here we go. How about a David and money? Get dollar. How about a David and money? Get dollar. Who give $1,000? How about a $1,000 bill? How about a bond? How about a 500 then? I got it at 500. A 2.5. Get 2.5. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Just good shouldered and good fronted, robust through the front end on this buck, and just really wide coming out of that shoulder, really square and expressive in his top, massive in his rear leg. You just love the dimension he brings.
Well, you ask him who give 21. I got it at 20, get bond. How about a 20, get bond? How about a 20, get bond? Get him a 21, get him a 21, get him a 20, get bond. How about a 20? So, 2005-03, 2005-02-03, Indiana bound.
All right, check out the one coming in next. Lot number 20, Candyman, as you study him, a Trailblazer son, and then out of the cinder cone dough there on the bottom side, we got Smoking Boomstick there, a daughter there. Folks, look in, show correct in every way. He's big boned, really attractive red dapple buck. He's really good headed. You love the Roman head. Lots of good pieces in this guy.
Here we go. How about a David and money? Get dollar. How about a David and money? Get dollar. Get who give £5 hotter than? How about a 5. How about a $5,000? Who give 1,000? I got a 1,000. I got a bond. I got a $10. How about a David and money? Get dollar. Get 1,000. 15. I got a 15. How about a 15? How about a 2? How about a 2? 27. 28. How about a 20? Get 8. Hey, go ahead, Mr. Ron.
49 show points on Mama, and just look how big-footed and big skeleton this guy is. Later maturing, he's growing up. When he slows on the growing up, he's going to grow out and thicken, but all the right pieces are there. It's all lined up for you. Just going to get better with time.
28, 29, how about a 20, get 999, how about a 900, get a bit of last call, get a bit 28, get a bit 20, get $900. We're so 2,800.
Lot 22 coming in next. 2M Boer Goats, Rebel Vision. As we bring this buck in, we realize he's sired by the Rebellious Decision buck, which goes back to unanimous decision. And out of the Habanero doe, which goes back to Trouble on the bottom side, we got some all bugged out. We've got some 2M Boer Goats like a fine wine there on the bottom side. Wow, what a big old massive red paint buck we've got here. Good stepping off both ends, just massive in his front end. You love this guy. Let's go.
Who give 55,000? 55,000. Who give $5,000? Here we go. How about I did $5,000 then? How about I did $5,000? How about I did $5,000? Get a bit $7,000. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
So you study his profile and you see how good he looks on a profile on this red belted buck, and then you get around behind him and you look and you see how exploded he is and how wide and how powerful and how packed full of meat he is. This is just a power packed buck with a ton of look. You're going to love him when you get him home.
6,000, 7,000, how about it $7,000? How about it 65,000? How about it get 5,500? Get a bit 75, get a bit 75, get a bit 75. Kick him one more time.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want you to overlook him. You're going to drive a lot of miles before you find a red belted buck that's this massive in his skeleton and this exploded in his width. The amount of muscle he has. 1 and 1 teated. If you want to clean up a herd, he's single-teated. I got a feeling his mama's probably single-teated. That's why he's that way. And that gets a bit more predictable as we continue to go back. Could clean up teats on a herd and mass them up and give them color and give them look. He could change a whole lot of goats, and we need to keep going.
72 and a half, 75. How about it 70 bit 5, 5, 5? How about it 75? How about it 70 bit 5, 5, 5? How about it 75? How about it 75? How about it 75, 7 and a half? How about it 77 and a half? How about it 7 and a half? How get 7 and a half? Class A. How about it 5, 6? How about it last call? How about it 75? Get a bit 600. Get a bit $600. We're so 7,500 on 505.
It's a good feeling to be right.
I can predict one number at a time.
Lot number 23 comes in. This is another Cooper Bound Mark Frazier consignment. As we look at Big Red, we realize that he goes back to Outcast and Copper Top. Anybody tried to buy a straw Outcast semen here lately? My goodness. That ought to mean a lot right here. And then if we look at the mama, we got Newton Farms painted picture, which goes back to Blurred Vision and Gray Goose. Power pack pedigree, real opportunity on a nice balanced kind of green made buck. I realize there's not an ounce of fat on him, but at least you get to see what he really is. Let's go.
Here we go. Who give $1,000 bill? How about it bond? How about it bond? Get a bit $1,000. Get a bit $1,000. Get a bit. Who give 500? How about it 500? Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
So we're having a hard time getting untracked, but you know, sometimes when you got one that's a little thinner in his conditioning, the first thing you learn as a judge or in a judge's training or a judge's certification is look at that forearm and look at that forearm muscle. And you see that pop, you see that expression in that forearm muscle, you got that same kind of muscle all the way through this goat. He's real, he's expressive, there's a lot of buck here, don't overlook him.
750, give 1,000. I got it at $2. How many did the last call? Go ahead.
All I got to say is if you don't want him, you're just giving somebody else a really good buck, because this dude's going to impress somebody when they get him home.
19, $2 grand. I got it at 222. Get $2,000. How about it at 19? How about it at 222? How about it at last call? 222. Swing the gate, bid goes on.
Let's bring us lot 24. This is Shoals Boer's pickup man. As we study this guy, first of all, I want to tell you he's got a twisted ear, so he's not show correct. But you talk about a thick, big-butted buck that's he's sired by the knick-knack buck, which goes back to draft pick and goes back to Irwin's #1 draft pick on the top side. Klondike's main man there on the bottom side. We got extra clip. We got lots of good pedigrees on this guy. And folks, look in here. He's as thick and powerful as you can make one. Let's go.
I got 500. Who gets 750? I got it at 7.5. I got it at 750. Where? How about it at 500? Get it at 7.5. Get it at 7.5. How about it at David at 100? Get $1. Get 500. So 800. Get it at 800. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, again, I can't talk about the thickness and squareness and expression this guy has. Just massive in his skull. He's got good bone on him and lots of width. Let's go.
750, 800, I got it at 8, I got it at 8, I got it at 800, I got it at 800, I got it at 8, get 800, I got it at last call, get it at 800, swing the gate, bid goes on.
25 coming in next. This is a Rosemeyer Boer Goats consignment. This is Troubleshooter, and folks, look in the ring. This is one cool dude. He's show correct in every way. As you study him, all I can call him is a meat wagon. You want to talk about one that's just as wide sprung and big boned and massive made. Obviously, he's sired by Trouble, and then he is out of the Chipette dough, and that speaks volumes. Everybody knows what Chipette has done for Paul's program, and I want to take it to the next level. You know, the way you buy good genetics, everybody wants to have a program where the dough's all flush. Chipette is one of his top producers. And when you buy a son of Chipette, then you're going to buy the siring ability to make you more top producing embryo producers in the flush program. It just kind of works that way. So look in, bid with confidence. This is the real deal.
Here we go. Who give $10,000 here? How about it at 10 grand? How about it at 10 grand? How about it at $10,000 here? Who give 1,000? I need to practice. How about it at $10 bill? How about it at 1, 3? How about it at 3,000? Gotta go ahead.
I got to stop you for a minute because they treated this buck for mites a few weeks back, and when they're washing him today, there was a couple of scabs still on his testicles. So there may be a little bit there's a good chance that they're gone, but you need to know that there was still a couple of scabs on his testicles, so he may need another treatment. But this buck sells as is today, and let's go.
2 grand, 3 grand, I got it at 3, I got it at 3, I got it at 3, 3, 3, 2,000, 3,000, how about it at 3, 3, 3, who give 2,500, I got it at 25, I got it at 25, even at 25 grand, how about it at 5, 5, 5, how about it at 5 grand, I got it at 5 grand. Go ahead.
So as you look at the possibilities of a herd sire like this, you see all this raw power and width and mass on this buck, and you realize that if you put him on some moderate does that are really good in structure, you're going to blow them apart and you're going to power them up. Now, if you want to put him on something that's more in tune with the meat goat side, all you're going to do is thicken him and power him up. He'll play in both arenas. His siring ability makes him dual purpose, and that's worth a bunch right there. Lots of opportunity.
Now 5,000, 55 with key, 6 grand internet. I got to be 6 grand. How about it at 6? How about it at 6, 6, 6? How about it at 7 times? Get it at 7 times. Get it at 7 times. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Paul just tells me that his cheapest brother sold for, what'd you say? 8,000 was the cheapest brother that he ever sold, and it went up from there. And he had sisters that brought 20 plus, 20,000 plus, and that's the kind of quality you're buying into right here. And does it make it any nicer to know that he's a flush mate to roulette? That just sweetens the pie. Let's go. We're not done yet.
I got 7,075. 8 grand. I got it at 8 grand. Keith's got the money. 75, $8,000 internet hits you. How about it at 76? How about it at 76? How about it go ahead one more time, Mr. Ron?
You can drive a lot of miles and not get an opportunity like this. This is an awesome heart.
76, 77, how about it at 7? How about it at 8? How about it at 8? How about it at 77? Get up at 800. How about it at 8? How about it at 78? How about it at 78?
Don't be disappointed later. Let's go ahead and bid. You're going to miss this guy, and you're going to be disappointed that you didn't go on forward with it.
77, 78. I got it at 78. I got it at 78. Get up at 78. Get up at 78. How about it at 7? Give 8. How about it at 8 grand? How about it at 8 grand? Get up at 8 grand. One more time, Mr. Ron. Tell this man on the internet what he's missing.
I don't live too far from the Red River. Everything's bigger in Texas. Let's get on board. Come on.
Woo! I ain't from Texas. Maybe I should have been. 79, 8 grand. I got it at $8,000 hair. I got it at 8 grand. I got it at 8 grand. Get up at 8,000. Get up at 8,000. Get up at the last call. Get up at $8,000 wear. All right, swing the gate. Bid goes on.
Lot 26 coming in. 2M Boer Goats. Whiskey Straight is the buck's name. Just look in the ring. Sired by Jim Bean. Everybody knows what a beast he is. And on the bottom side, Busy Being Fabulous, which is a Lucky's Copper Time daughter. And then on the very bottom, I see some Smoking Hot Ruger down there, which ain't all bad. So let's look in here. You talk about a big old thick stud here, going to make a big difference in somebody's herd. Big bone, massive in his muscle.
I give him $5 grand. I got it at $5 grand. I got it at $5. Get up at $5. Get up at £5. Let's have some fun. Give a grand. How about it at $1,000? Get 2. How about it at $1,000? Get up at 8 grand. 7,000, 8,000. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Jim Bean's son. This is what I consider one of the true breeding buck opportunities that Paul brought you today. I can't deny the 55,000 one, but this son of a gun here is pretty good. And being out of Jim, you just know he's going to get bigger and better with age. The breeding buck is what I call him. Awesome herd size.
8,000 I have. 9 grand. I got it at 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 8, 9, 10. I got it at 10, 10, 10. Get it at 90. Get 5. One more time, Mr. Ron.
I've talked till I'm blue in the face. The time is now. It's right now, or somebody else going to own him. And this is a lot better buck than that.
9 grand. 2.5 then. How about it at 250? How about it at 92.5? I got it right quick. If you want to play, how about it at 9 grand? Get up at 2.5. Get up at 2.5. Get up at the last call. Get up at 92.50. Where? So to you, friend. 9,000 on.
27 in the ring next. This is Lynn Point Farms. As we study this big Dapple buck, my goodness, he's sired by the Night Shift buck, which goes back to Jambalaya. And on the bottom side, out of a pistol grit daughter, pistol packing mama. Got some Bo Cephas and great expectations there on the very bottom. I don't have to say much. Look at how square he is in his rack and loin edge. Look how stout he is in his skull. Look how massive this dude is in his bone. He speaks for himself. Let's go.
How about a David and money? Get daughter. How about a David and money? Get who? Give $1,000. Let's all go to play. 1,000, 2. I got it at 2. How about it at 9? Get it at 7.5. Get it at 3 grand. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, just look at the coloration. He's a beauty, and then just look at how massive and how deep he is in his forerib, how deep-bodied and wide-sprung that he is. Just a ton of center body in him. Huge top, huge rear leg. Pieces are all there. He has show points. He's taken division champions and reserves. He's done well in the show ring, and I can see that. He just has a tremendous amount of look for as big and massive as he really is. Pretty stylish buck.
27.5, 28. How about it? 28. How about it? Swing the gate. Bid goes on.
And bring us lot number 28. This is going to be PCF 16 Tonto, brought to us by the Painted Creek Farm. As we look at this one, sired by the Roger McSwain Romo buck, which goes back to RM Cruiser, and then on the bottom side, out of the Sensation Doe, which goes back to Cold Smoke and Polarized, and BMAX Target there on the bottom. Big, stout, massive buck. Looks a lot like the younger buck that she brings in earlier, only more to him. Stouter boned, more extension up through that front end, breedy headed. Just an outstanding buck with lots of mass and power.
Here we go. Who give $1,000 bill? I got it at 1. How about it at 15? How about it at 15? How about it at 15? 2. How about it at 2? Oh, get it at 21. Mr. Ron, go ahead.
Well, this dude's unique in the fact that he's sprung so wide and got so much internal width and dimension to him, and yet he has that extra extension about his front end. Not only there, but he's extended through that body and maintains some strength and levelness about him. Huge hip, huge rear leg, and I've got to note that he's really good. He's about as structurally correct off his feet and legs as you could make one. This is an awesome combination in this red buck.
I got $2 grand, 21, 21. 21, how about it? Don't get one? You're in, Roger. $2 grand, 21. How about it? Don't get one? How about get up at 21? Get up at 21. Get up at the last call. Get up at $2 grand. Get up at 20.
He has show points too. Yeah, and I can see this guy doing a lot of winning in the show ring. He's got that look and design and completeness about him. Let's go.
$2 grand, 20. Get one. How about it? Get up at $2,100 weir. So 2,000 on.
All right, bring us lot 29. This is a wake-off Boer goats consignment. This is CrossFit. Goes back to Bailey Burgum's Here I Am, which goes back to Lucky Smoking Copper, and then on the bottom side, Lazy ST Peepin' Dapple Lucy, which obviously goes back to Smoking Hot Peepin' Dapple Tom. Folks, look in here to show correct, long, balanced, big top, red dapple buck with lots of look and lots of correctness. Let's sell it.
How about David and money, $1 collar to boot there? What do you want to do? How about David and money? Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, look at that extension up through his front end, just long-necked and good-headed, and then you get in behind that shoulder. Look how level, just dead level, he comes out of that shoulder with some squareness about his rack and loin. Good hipped and good slope to that rump, and squares off nice from hooks to pins and carries that width all the way to the ground. Everything's correct about this guy's skeleton, and he's got look to boot. Let's go.
15, get rid of the daughter down to 16. I got it at 16. I got it at 15. Get rid of 16. Get rid of 16. How about it at 16? 17. How about it at 17? I got it at 18. I got it at 19. I got it at $2 grand. I got it at 2, 2, 2. Get ball, 2, 2, 2, 2. How about it at David at money? Get daughter, get 21, 22. How about it at 20? Get 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 900. Go ahead and kick it one more time, Mr. Ron.
One of the better designed red dapple bucks in the barn. This guy's green. He's still growing up, but the pieces are all there. He's already got plenty of squareness and dimension to his muscle. Correct off both ends of his skeleton. Lots and lots of good about this guy. Don't overlook him.
Keith's got some money. 28, 2,900. I got it at 89. I got it at $3 grand, 31. I got it at 31. I got it at 30. Get on. Get up at $3,100 weir. Sell it to my friend, $3,000 on. And here we go. How about it, David at money? Get dollar, get who? Give $2,000 here. How about it, $2 grand? I got it at 500. Dan, let's all go. I got it at 500. David at 5. How about it at 750? How about it at 5? Get up at 7.5. How about it at 7? Get up at half where? How about it, David at money? Get dollar, get 500. 600. Dan, I got it at 600. David at 6. How about it at 7? David at 8. How about it at 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9. How about it at 8? Get 9. How about it at 8, 9? I got it at 8, 9. I got it at 8. Get up at 900. Get up at 900. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, another one that's green in his makeup. You can see that he's growing straight up right now, and the pieces are all still there. He's got some expression of muscle. He's not necessarily just blowing out and wowing you, but it's there. The guy's still growing up, and whenever when he catches that growth, you said he's 11 months old?
Yes.
He's 11 months old, and he's growing straight up. As soon as he catches frame growth, you're going to see that explosive muscle come in him, and then you're going to be really proud. Nice buck.
800, 900, I got it at 900, I got it at 9, I got it at 8, 9, I got it at 8, 9, 9, 17, I got it at 17, 18. Go ahead.
My sister has 29 show points, so obviously you got some show quality here. I'm going to remind you again, sells with 10 straws of frozen semen.
19-2, I got 2, how about it at 2-2-2, I got it at 19-2, and get him a $2 grand swing, the gate bid goes on, next lot in.
Next lot is lot number 32, another Cooper Bounce consignment. As I study the pedigree, this Progress Pays buck goes back to Outcast again, a copper top, that same Outcast son has been siring all the good ones, and then on the bottom side, doubles up on the Outcast with an Outcast daughter, and my status is smoking. What a power punch pedigree on one that's just a little darker in the red. Really like that mahogany red dapple. Look at the design. Look at the length. Look at the levelness of this one. Good hip. This is a pretty cool one right here. Let's look in.
Here we go. How about a David and money? Get daughter, bid it a daughter down. How about a David and money? Get daughter, get who? Get 10 grand. I got it at $10,000 here. I got it at 10 grand. How about a $1,000? Let's all go. How about a $1,500 where? How about a $1,500? How about a go ahead, Mr. Ron?
I just want to say that in 2017, when I judged the junior nationals along with two really good judges, Cooper Cooper had a set of Dapple goats there that were phenomenal. They did a lot of winning, and he's kept the quality in these. You're seeing one that's just green as a gourd. There's not an ounce of fat on him, but the pieces are there. Structurally, he's correct, and he's got a lot of honest muscle in him. Don't miss it.
Here we go. How about a David and money? Get $100. How about a David and money? Get $2 grand. 21. Get a bit of last call. Get a bit 20. Get bon. Swing the gate. Bid goes on.
All right. Lot number 33 is a Semen Consignment. What we're selling is 5 straws of semen out of 2 Boer goats, copper kettle. He is sired by Tango. Tango made a big impact on the industry for a few years, and out of Wild Rita on the bottom side, some of Paul's top genetics, and they're selling 5 straws. This copper kettle buck has 74 individual points and has passed all of his ennoblements, but we're going to sell 5 straws of this copper kettle buck. Let's go.
Here we go. How about a David and money? Get $100. Get 100. How about a bond? How about a bond? Times the money. 5 straws. $100 bill. $100 bill. I got it on. I got it on. Get a bit $100. 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 How about it 75 1? How about it swing the gate? Bid goes on.
All right, we're coming in with lot number 34. This is Newton Farm Smoke and Run. This buck is sired by Smoke and Express. Need no introduction for him. The Smoking Express is the sire, and then on the bottom side, out of 2 Boer goats, C. Jane Run, which is sired by Woodford Cody's, Woodford's Golden Dimension, and then on the bottom, Jane Doe, which is a Woodford Reserve over Goodwin Farms, Cash's Home Run. Folks, this is another one that I really think is awesome. Got a little trendier look about him, but a Smoking Express son, one that there's a difference in this kind. One that's just really massive about his front and yet shoved back in his sternum. Stout-headed, big bone, and then just tremendous rack and loin in this dude with a lot of depth of forerib, huge inner thigh, depth of twist on this guy. Don't miss him. Let's go.
How about a David and money? Get $1. Get hooky of $5,000 here. I got it at $5 grand. How about it at $5? Get 8 and 9. How about it at $9 grand? How about it at 8 9? I got it at 8 9. I got it at 8. Get 9. 15,000. Now 1750. How about it at 17.5? How about it at 15? Get a bit 17.5. How about it at 17? Get a bit of 500. Get a bit of 500. Get a bit of 500.
So while we're getting over that, let me mention that he's just barely over 8 months old. This buck is young. He's got a lot of growing to do, but my goodness, what a good one. I've bragged on him all day to some people I know, and they won't be disappointed when he gets home. Let's go.
15, 16, I got it at 16, I got it at 18, get a bit 18, get a bit 18, $10 then, how about it at 15, 16, how about it at 16, I got it at 16. I tell you what I learned a long time ago in an auction, if you want to scare them off, hit them in the mouth. 15, 16, how about it at 16, I got it at 16, 16. Talk about it one more time.
I'm just going to say my mouth kind of hurt.
I think this ship's sailed. 15, 16, I got it at 16, I got it at 16, how about it at 15, 5, how about it at 15, get a bit 500, get a bit 500, get a bit 15, 500, how about it at 15, 5, Zeb, let's go, 15, 5, how about it at 15 and a half, I got it at 2 and a half, I got it at last call, get a bit 2 and a half, we're so 15,000 home.
Before we lose that thought, I just want to say, and it'll mean something to somebody, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and he'll know what I mean.
SoCo, swing and hit him in the mouth.
Lot 35, we're selling, what would you do for a Klondike bar? And I promise you, that's pretty catchy there. Pretty catchy. 505 on blues, right? Yep. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Is sired by Klondike, which goes back to Cat in the Hat, and then on the bottom side, it's the Kiss My Sass. I could say Sass, okay. And it goes back to Freckles. And on the bottom side, Night Ride, Moonshine, and Coffin Attitude. So, folks, look in. He's long fronted. He's really extended about that front end. He takes a long, true step off both ends. He's about as flexible in a skeleton as you could make one, and has lots of muscle and huge inner thigh. Let's go.
Keith, you got 500. I got need 6. 500, 600, 700. I got it at 700. I got it at 6, 7. I got it at $700 then. I got it at 6, 7. I got it at Rogers. Got some money. 600, 700. I got it at 700. I got it at 7, 7. Get 700. I got it at David and money. Get daughter. Whole lot more buck in the ring than that.
Well, while we're at it, let's just throw 10 straws of semen in the hat out of him, because it's in the comments down below. Goes with 10 straws of semen, and let's bid. Let's go.
600, 700, how about it at 700, how about it at 6-7, how about it at 700, out of 10, how about it at 6-7, how about it at 600, get up at 700, get up at 700, get up at 700, 600, 700, how about it at 700, how about it at 700, how about it at 600, get up at 700, get up at 700, get up at 700, 600, 700, how about it at 700, how about it at 700, how about it at 700, get up at 700, get up at 700, 800, how about it at 8, how about it at 8, 9, how about it at 999, get 900, out of 10, how about it at 900, internet, get up at 900, how about it at 8, 9, how about it at 8, 9, how about it at 800, get up at 900, get up at 900, get up at 900, get up at 900. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Well, one more time, I'm going to talk about his length to front, length to top, levelness. He's got plenty of muscle, just a really nice buck. I think we're missing this one.
800, 900, how about it at 900, how about it at 900, how about it at $1,000, how about it at 900, get 1,000, get 11, how about it at 1,100, how about it at 1,000, get 11, how about it at 1,100, how about it at the internet, get up at 1,100, get up at 1,100, get up at 1,100, get up at 1,100, 1,000, 11, how about it at 1,100, how about it at 1,100, how about it at 11, get 100, 100, how about it at 11, get 12, 12, 12, how about it at 11, get 12, how about it at 12, 13, how about it at 13, how about it at 13, how about it at 12, get up at 13, get up at 13, get up at 13, money's in the house, 1200, 13, how about it at 13, how about it at 13, how about it at 13, 14, how about it at 14, get up at 14, 15, how about it at 15, how about it in the internet, get up at 15, how about it at 14, get up at 15, go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Is that 1,500 or 15,000?
That's 1,500 right now, but I'm ready to go to 15,000.
Just checked it. Okay, folks. Again, a buck that's got some width. He's got width at the ground as he tracks. Just true base width. As you study him, you can see. Look how wide he is between the hocks on the move. Got a big old butt. Got a big old inner thigh. This guy won't disappoint. Lots of meat here.
14, 15, I got it at 15, I got it at 15, get up at 15, get up at 15, 14, 15, I got it at 15, internet, are you through? 14, 15, I got it at 15, I got it at 15, I got it at 14, get up at 15, get up at 15, get up at 15, get up at the last call, get up at $1,500. We're so 1,400 on 312, 1,400, 312.
Oh, all right, bring us lot number 36, Sugar Creek, Rubik. Sired by the rebellious decision buck, goes back to unanimous decision. And then on the bottom side, Borderline's getting my shine on, which goes back to Copper Steel. I see some speckled effects there on the bottom side. Really nice color buck as you study him. Really cool paint buck. Another one that's really extended about his front end, good headed, wide, adequate width in his front end. And look how he strides around the ring. Just takes a good natural step off both ends with adequate muscle and squareness across his edge.
In the final harvest last year, he was loaded in a recip. They had this buck. He's come full circle. He's going to be the only buck to ever go through this sale twice.
He's twice as nice. Let's go.
Here we go. He'll give a $1,000 bill. I get it at one. I get it at one. Get it at $1,000. Get it at $1,000. Get it at 20. Get it at 5. Get it at 25. Get it at 25. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
So you're doing really good, but nobody likes a quitter. Let's go. This is a good buck. Let's go with him. Let's bid.
22 and a half. 25. How about it at 20? Get 5. How about it at 20? Get 20. Get 3. How about it at 3? Go ahead.
Folks, all jokes aside, this is an awesome little buck. He's as square and thick and powerful and unique as you could ask for. Somebody going to be real proud when they get him home.
He got good hair on him right there. 2 and a half, 3. How about it at 2 and a half? Get him at 3.
How many straws of rebellious decision do you think they've sold since it's
Wished I had all that money. Where's he at?
Got an own son.
22 and a half. There he is. He still smells. I smelled the money over here. 22 and a half. 23. I got it at 23. I got it at 23. I got it at 3. Get him at 23. Get him at 23. Get him at 23. Get him at the last call. Get him at $2,300. Swing the gate. Bid goes on.
This is Slash bar board. As we look at this one out of Commander's Midnight, which goes back to Wing Commander and Outback Jack, and on the bottom side, Holmes Meadowbrook Mai Tai goes back to Devil's Favorite Son, and on the bottom side, Copper Remington on the bottom side, and Fancy Chick. Folks, I don't need to say much. Really square, expressive black Dapple here. If you could see from my angle, you'd love the squareness. Let's go.
Here we go. How about a David and money? Get $100. How about a David and money? Get $100. Get $1,000. Let's go to work. How about a $100? How about a $900? I got a day. I got a day. Get up and down. Go ahead.
Not a bunch of show off on this buck. You can tell he hadn't had a lot of animal crackers. But folks, look at the foot size. Look at the bone circumference on him. Big old stout bone, stout skeleton buck with all the right pieces. Don't overlook it.
800, 900, I got it at 900, I got it at 9, I got it at last call, I got it at 800, get it at 900, get it at $900. We're sold. 800 bucks, 506.
38 coming in next. 2M Boer goats, black onyx, goes back to monkey business, and that goes back to Ace in the Hole. And then on the bottom side at Elrod Farms, New Moon, which goes back to Wild Wind's Greatest Expectations. And on the very bottom, Apollo and Wild Wind's London there on the bottom side. You talk about a thick, powerful, solid black buck. Black onyx is one impressive dude. Let's go.
You're right, boy. How about a David and money, get $1. How about a David and money, get $1, get $5 grand. How about a $5 grand? I got it at 65, $6 grand, 65. Go ahead.
So we're missing the boat. There's a lot of good kids. He's already sired a lot of good kids. He's already proven himself. I mean, Paul's got a lot of good studs, and he's decided to turn this one loose. But this dude has sired some real winners already, so don't overlook him.
6 grand, 65. How about a 65? 5. How about a 65? How about a 65? Pull back to back. How about a 65? Go on, Mr. Ron.
Just don't overlook him. I mean, a big old stout-made buck that's got some massive bone and tracks. You can just see how he floats around the ring. He's got good. He's got good step off both ends. This is flexible. Do what? Too old to fight him. But he shows off on his own, Paul. Just let him go. They can see how he steps. Really good strider.
2.5, 65, 65, 65. How you get 6,300? How about a 63? How about a 333? Get up a 63, get up a 63. Internet, if you're gonna play, it's time to go. How about a 2.5, 3? How about a 63? How about a 63? How about a city get 300? Get up a 300, get up a $6,300. We're so 62.5 on.
All right, folks. Lot number 39 is a Semen Consignment. We're going to sell you 6 straws of semen out of Richardson's Gone Viral. They lost him way too early, but he's sired by the Jason Coyne Firepower Buck, which goes back to Thunderstorm and as good as it gets. And then on the bottom side, out of Advanced Boer Goats Summer, which is out of Get a Grip. And on the very bottom, Rockin' Hills Harv there on the bottom side. Excellent pedigree. The buck, he did a lot of winning, big bone and massive made and real sound in the way he tied together. He was one offspring inspection short of receiving his ennoblement. You can see the picture there online. Outstanding buck, selling 6 straws. Let's sell it.
You can take them. I'm gonna sell them to you 246. You can take them all. We'll sell them 246. He'll give a $100 bill. Now I got it at Vaughn. I got it at $100 bill. How about it at Vaughn? Get up at $100. Get up at $100. Get up at $100. Get up at $100. Who give? 100. Got 100. 125. How about it at 25? How about it at 140? How about it at 75? How about it at 270? Get 5. Get up at 75. Get up at 75. Get up at 75. How about it at 75? Sold 250. How many they want, Miss Cindy? 2, 4, or 6? I'd clean them up. Internet, 250 per straw. You want 2, you want 4, you want 6. 3, 4, 5 takes 2. Anybody else want 2 straws? 250 apiece. 250 apiece. Right. There's your last 2. All right. 302. All right, Michaela, there's all 6 of them. It's not in the catalog. Do we have a list of what all's in there? Does Miss Cindy know? All right, y'all, listen to me just a minute. Jason and I started the Boer Goat Nation. What we do is we try to raise money and put goats in the hands of kids that can't get good show goats. Y'all know as well as I do, your kids play sports. You don't want them to get beat every time. If they get beat every time, they're going to lose their motivation. Some kids just can't afford to go to sell and buy a good goat. The Boer Goat Nation, we started with the intent that we were going to try to raise some money and try to put a better goat in a kid's hand that could. There are some scholarship kids here that applied for the scholarship. They need to apply again. We're going to do it again. Chris asked if he could do this. They could put this together. The consigners of this sale have put together a heck of a package of semen. Y'all listen to me real close. 2 straws, Rebellious Decision. 2 straws, Code Red. 2 straws, Richardson's Tiger King. 2 straws, North Sand Mountain Boer Goats Blazing Spots. 2 straws, Tonto. 2 straws, Mocha. 1 straw, Pitzer Ranch, His Majesty. And 3 straws, Solid Rock. Look at that. You don't have to be a Boer Goat nerd to know that's a pretty good package. Talk just a little bit right there.
So that's amazing. And I just talked about, I made the comment, how many straws of Rebellious Decision have we sold since the Nationals? I mean, he's one of the hottest things going. Code Red was at Paul Morgan's house and did a really good job siring there, and has made some really good ones. Richardson's Tiger King, another one that's been a real producer. Blazing Spots, that's another one. Tano needs no introduction, my goodness. And then we got Mocha, and then we've got His Majesty, and we got Solid Rock. The list goes on. I mean, it's a nice offering of bucks. And you got a little bit of something here for everybody. So
I'm selling it to you all one money, Mr. Ron.
Oh, wow.
Selling it to you all one money. He'll give $1,000. It's a good cause. The cause of better semen. 1,000, 12 and a half. I got it at 12 and a half. I got it at $1,000. Get it at 12 and a half. How about a debit in money? Get 12 and a half. 15, 17, 50. How about it at 17 and a half? I got it at 17. Get it at half. Where? How about it at 15? Get it at 17, 50. How about it at 17 and a half? 2. How about it at 2? How about it at 25? How about it at 22 and a half? I got it at 2 and a half. Get it at 2 and a half. Get it at $2,000. 2 and a half. How about it at 2 and a half? Have it at 22 and a half. Have it at 21 then. Have it at 20. Get one. Get it at 21. Get it at 21. 2, 22, 3. Have it at 23. Have it at 2, 3. Are you sure? 22, 2300. I got it at 2, 3. I got it at 200. Get it at 300. Get it at 300. Get it at 300. Get it at the last call. Get it at 2300. Have it at 2, 3. Have it at 22, 3. Y'all give a big round of applause to Paul and Kim Mulligan. Thank you so much. So $2,200. You're going to run it again. Will you give $2,000 here? $2,000. Now 21. How about it at 21? How about it at 21? Best worried about your number. We'll figure it out in a minute. $2,000. 21. How about it at 21? How about it at 21? I got it at $2,000. Get it at 20. Get one. Get it at 21. Get it at 21. Get it at 2,100. Last call 21. So to you. Give him a big round right there. $2,000 more dollars. 342. 342. Y'all, thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. Mr. Ron, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
It's been an honor for me to work with an honest man that does an honest job. Congratulations.
Thank you.